Hello, welcome to Living Arts. I'm your host, Jackie Suarez. I want to thank you for tuning in today. Today we have a very special show. You know, this is our 100th taping, and I just want to take a moment to go ahead and thank the people that make all of this happen. That would be Mr. Jim Brooks, Joe Pisano, and Helen Pisano. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate all your hard work and dedication. So thank you. And I will now introduce you to our great, fabulous guests that we're going to have on the show tonight. We have Daisy Jopling and we have Brian Delma Taylor. Guys, welcome to the show.
We're so honored
Absolutely.
to be in the 100th anniversary.
Yeah, this is
Congratulations. And it's so amazing what you've done, Jackie. Thank you.
It's been a long road. I've been doing this for quite a while. You know, I guess when you enjoy what you're doing, time flies. Because it seems like I just had my first show the other day.
Yeah.
You know, I realized that we've also been kind of similar time frame on the journey of me working with kids, because it might have been 6 years ago that I did my first show ever where I included kids.
Oh, right.
It's about the same, but yeah, it's about the same
trajectory.
Time frame. Yeah. And that also seems like, you know, just very recently. So yeah.
Yeah, time just flies. I mean, it must seem like just the other day you came to New York to begin with, right? So what year was that?
I came to New York 11 years ago.
Okay, so now it's been a little while. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's everything changed for you since you first arrived?
In a nutshell, I think this applies to so many people, I feel like I came here because I wanted to experience New York. It was very kind of like about, you know, what I was doing, but somehow the placement of how I'm feeling and what I'm doing and what I want to do with my music has expanded to what can I give in so many areas to the world. It's kind of like, where's my place in the whole development of the world, and not just what do I want to achieve with my music and what do I want to give. I mean, I definitely wanted to give, and I really felt that America, which is or maybe the center of the world. I'm not saying other countries don't have a lot of power, but there's a kind of center in America. And I felt that the changes that I want to see happen in the world, which obviously have to come from inside us and have to be us changing ourselves. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be in America to be creating the change that I want to see in the world. So I did come for that reason, but it's really blossomed, and I'm very grateful for the way in which my life has incredibly enlarged, to know people from many more walks of life than I ever knew, and to be doing much more music and, you know, styles that I ever did, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely been a huge blossoming on every possible level since I've been here, and I'm very grateful for that. So I feel in a very different place. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, Nancy, you've also recorded, I guess, 2 albums or 2 CDs since that time.
3, actually.
3, sorry, 3.
That's fine.
And you know, we're going to be talking about your latest, Awakening, which has been quite the journey for you.
Yes.
And you've been enjoying that, and it's given you such a great year. That came out in February, right?
Yes.
That was February of
this year.
Of this year.
Yeah.
All right, terrific.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about Awakening? And I know Brian was very instrumental in the album and the inception of it, and just creating the whole sound of it, and you composed much of the music, or a lot of the music. So tell me about Awakening.
You know, Brian and I met 5 or 6 years ago, around the same time.
About 6 years ago, yeah. Yeah, I know that I had been in town for about a year, and then I met you.
And Brian met me and he said, Daisy, I believe I have what it takes to help you get your voice out there. And he really meant my inner creativity of my music, and that is exactly what he's done.
Wow, well, that's pretty powerful.
Thank you. Can I just expound on that a little bit? I've always felt that any artist, aside from in the classical world, artists are oftentimes called upon to, you know, delve directly into the repertoire that's already established. But in the popular world, that's not the case at all. And I know that there are a lot of crossover artists out there that have taken one element of music, say, you know, in a very broad sense, the classical world, and then putting that to a rock beat. You know, it's not something that has is exclusive anymore. I think a lot of people have attempted to do that. And so when I met Daisy, I thought, well, I think that Daisy is the kind of artist that deserves her own repertoire, something that is immediately identifiable to Daisy. And having all of those things attached to it that really make it singular for herself. So particularly with Awakening, that was our goal all along, was to have just killer sounding music that really expressed everything that she wanted to express, but in a very inclusive way.
With a lot of collaborations.
Yeah, and so much of the music delves into not only one style per tune, but many different styles, all melded together, because as time goes on, in the 21st century, that's really what music is. It's this melting pot of international
it
styles.
Includes songs that have vocals as well, which is something new.
That's right.
For maybe there's not this album, but in previous albums.
Yes.
Absolutely. So Brian ended up arranging 50% of the music and collaborating with me composing-wise on one of the songs.
Right.
And the name Awakening, which seems so relevant now, was actually thought a year and a half ago. We were on tour in China by my drummer. He's like, why do you call it Awakening? And I was like, yes. So that kind of came from him. And the music definitely describes an inner journey that I feel each one of us is on. Each one of us just experiences the music that comes from a certain place on this journey. For example, the song Awakening is this, it's really, for me anyway, this is how I, just created it. It's kind of a feeling of dark and yet inner power. So it's supposed to be this idea that in our darkness is always this potential for light. By the way, I have to remind myself of that every day.
You and me both.
This is like my healer, as everything is, So the Awakening song, and each song has a little text that goes with it. Even if there's not lyrics to the song, Awakening is a totally instrumental piece. But the idea is, in our greatest darkness is the potential for our greatest light, and we really have this inner power, like to remind ourselves that we have the inner power. And then the next song that comes after it is called Prayer, which we're going to be playing later on today with Brian. That's the one we collaborated on. And
that's a beautiful tune.
Thank you.
The moment
Beautiful
of this
tune.
song is, we've all experienced that time when we have hit rock bottom, whatever we want to describe it, and we kind of feel like, I don't know where to go from now, and we just kind of go, I'm going to surrender. I'm going to let whatever word we want to use, the universe, the energy, the God, whatever we want to say, Jesus, take my issues, and I'm going to just open and pray. It's called prayer. So this kind of idea of giving up, and in that moment, of course, there is often a feeling of a kind of answer comes to us. So each piece has this journey, that has a place within a journey that we're all on. We could describe it in different ways. That's up to us. But that's the concept behind the whole album.
And I love just the way that prayer kind of builds up, and it's like almost like a celebration.
Right.
That's what it feels like when you're listening to it.
Absolutely.
It's awesome, and you're describing the meaning behind it. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And we all read, in our darkest hour need, a little help.
Yes.
And we have to kind of, like you said, surrender.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. And it can come from anywhere. I had a great time with my hairdresser today. She gave me some ideas because I was struggling with something, and she was like, what about blah, 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 blah? And I was like, yes, I'm struggling with this, but she was like, what about that? Something completely different, and that is how,
Right.
that's how anything can change for us completely. You just look at it from a totally different point of view. And
Talk to me about Country of Hope. Is it Country of Hope? Am I
It's
getting
called
that?
Country Hope.
Country Hope, sorry.
This song was a collaboration between me and a beatboxer called Michael Feigenbaum.
A big boxer.
Beatboxer.
Oh, beatboxer.
Beatboxer, meaning those guys who use their voice to create percussion sounds, and he's incredibly creative. So he creates
Like a beatbox. Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
beatbox. He
Right.
does body percussion. He's a overall extraordinary, very dear friend of both of ours, extraordinary artist. And he and I collaborated on 3 of the songs on the album. It's called Country Hope. He named it that because it's literally got a kind of country feel. At least the first guitar riff that he wrote had a country feel. It's turned a little bit into country pop now, and it's got a very hopeful feeling, and I wrote quite hopeful lyrics to it. The idea behind it is that actually in the moments we are able to stand back, we realize we've kind of had what we needed all along.
There is hope everywhere we turn, in each child.
what's beautiful about that song as well is that one of the things that Peekskill has given me, apart from this great dress, Georgia O'Shea, Quirk Shop, had to put that in there.
Georgia O'Shea, okay.
Is the fact that through living in Peekskill and having this amazing community that we're all part of, I completely organically was given the idea by a friend of mine, Marie Green, to start involving students in my shows. And it's taken on a bigger and bigger aspect of what I do, because it's so rewarding for me to see how becoming part of a big show like this, like the ones I put on, can change a student's life.
Absolutely.
And these, this Country Hope song, we made a music video. There are 4 girls from the Hendrick Hudson High School Treble Makers chorus, conducted by Erica Denler, who sing the solos, and the whole chorus, well, a lot of the girls from the chorus sing as a choir on the record. So it's very much me collaborating with them. Like they're a huge part of that song.
Yes.
And that particular chorus has been a huge part of all the work I've done with students. And I've worked with lots of other choirs, and we're taking that to Lincoln Center in August this year, 27th of August, 3 p.m. We're doing our Awakening show with all kinds of students, side-by-side orchestra and students from around here, but also New York City and Long Island and Brooklyn.
Wow, that's going to be an amazing show. That's going to be an amazing show.
It's going to be an amazing show.
That's been a wonderful aspect of your music, being able to incorporate, some of the students in the area and the young musicians,
There's a lot of talent in this area. A lot of talent.
Absolutely.
It's like when you find that win-win. I mean, for me, it's I was so excited by the feeling I had to be on stage with these talented young people, but the feeling they have, because it's the first time, I'm so blessed. We've played so many concerts in our life, and every time I'm on stage, I'm blessed. But they are like, oh my God, that kind of feeling,
Yes, right.
And
they're overwhelmed.
Yeah, you're feeling their excitement, which completely bubbles over to us, and you're also feeling the transformation that they're going through by being on that stage. And it's so rewarding, for us as mentors to see how it builds their confidence and how they come the next day. They're a new person. We're always a new person every day, but you can so tangibly feel the difference in their confidence. And
right, and how it probably made them more dedicated to studying and their craft.
Right.
And we
Awesome.
all want to help each other to live our dreams.
Absolutely.
Everybody, because you see somebody's dreams and you're like, of course you can do it. When we're in that situation where we create all our obstacles that seem so real for each one of us, but to be able to help somebody else